This podcast is proudly brought to you by SMC, the best way to build a social media strategy for your brand.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome to South African Writers Podcast. We're so excited that we are able to meet. It has been a while. It has been a while. We haven't interviewed people as much as we thought that we would. So many people, I guess, they are afraid of being interviewed. I once spoke to someone who said her book is written in Venda, and I was like, hey, I don't mind. I want to interview you. People have to know that you exist. Your stories exist, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, whether it's religious or a novel. We just want to interview everyone. So guys, if you want to be interviewed, if you want your book to be reviewed, just send it through, send it through so that we can be able to communicate with you and be able to let people know that, hey, so-and-so exists, and their book is exciting, and they want you to be able to pick up their book and just read it to your kids, read it to your wives, read it to your husbands, read it to your friends, so that people can be able to to see that South African authors can actually write. We are it is so easy for me to walk in exclusive books or Kum books, or just go online and just look for books, but it's easy for us to just look for books that are not South African, because Americans or other people from other countries like UK, their books are everywhere. Their books are everywhere. They have ebooks everywhere. You get emails every time telling you that somebody has released their book, and so forth and so forth. And I just want to encourage people to actually pick up a South African author's book, so that we can be able to encourage South African authors to write, first of all, and so that we can encourage South African students, millennials, to be able to pick up a book and read. It's imperative. It's important. I think it for me it means a lot when I read a book that that is written by somebody that I know. Sometimes you think that you know a person until they actually write a book, and you're sitting there, you're reading their story, and you're like, I actually didn't know how creative this person is. I actually didn't know, what the experiences that this person have had, So it's imperative for us to be able to read the books of the people that we know, people that are South Africans, people that live in your province, people that live in your city or township, so that we can be able to encourage, growth in their lives, so that they can be able to know that, hey, actually, somebody is reading my book. I know sometimes it feels weird. I remember when I released my book, His Will, Your Way. I remember, when I released it, and, when somebody would tell me, yo, I loved your book. It brought some motivation and growth in my spiritual life. I remember I would just sit there and I would just be waiting for some negative or criticism, some negative review from that person. And I'll be shaking in my shoes waiting for something negative. And I realized as time went by that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when people have a negative review of your book, but it's an eye opener, and it's encouraging to know that, okay, whether it's positive or negative criticism, it reminds you that people have their own opinions, and people have their own views, whether your story is relatable or not, whether your book has grammar issues, or you have made mistakes there and there, or your publishers didn't do a good job in editing your book, or selling it, or bringing it out to the world. It really doesn't matter that much. What matters is that people are able to come back to you and say, hey, I read your book, it's inspiring, but 1, 2, 3, 4, or end 1, 2, 3, 4. That end and but. They get to encourage an author so much. That is the reason why we actually go back and sit down. As well, I just want to encourage authors, to read. Read, guys. You can't be an author and you don't read. Nowadays, I'm in this spirit, for lack of a better word, of listening to audiobooks. My wife would be sleeping, or I would be alone at home, and nothing that I'm doing. I would just connect my phone with my TV, and I would just listen to a book while cleaning up or just preparing food or something. I'll be just listening to an audiobook, and I would be learning. I'd be learning and learning and learning and learning, and some of the books that I read actually are American, and others, so many of them are South African. And what I'm saying is that reading helps you to be able to grow, as an author. And secondly, I think if I were to advise authors, I would say, it's imperative for you to be able to tell your story. Make it personal. Make it personal. Make it so personal. It might be non-fiction. It might be fiction. But make your story so personal, because one thing that I have learned is that there is somebody else who's actually going through what you are going through or have went through. So it's imperative for you to actually tell your story. Tell your tale, man. Tell your tale, because your story might change somebody else's life. Your story might challenge somebody else's life. I might want to get better by just listening to your story. How you met your wife, what you felt and what you went through. Use those things so that you can be able to tell your story. When I started writing, I started with a non-fiction book, His Will, Your Way, and it was so exciting, and it was so when I finished writing, I was mind baffled. And it was a religious book, so for the next couple of months and a couple of years, I would preach from it, preach from my story, preach from my religious. It's more of a scholarly book. Deals with hermeneutics, it deals with homiletics, deals with managing conflict and speaking about sin and so forth. It speaks about a lot of things. It's a scholarly book, so it helps people to get to know God. So when I would preach at church, I would just derive some of the things from the book, and it was so exciting for me to read it over and over and over and over again. And my wife and I were able to sell over close to 500 books, since 2014. I started selling books then, but it was hard to see the sales, because now the people who would buy my book are people that are close to me, and sometimes when I go to other places, I would just give it to like pastors for free and so forth. So it was an exciting place for me, and I started thinking, I want to be able to write novels. So I started my journey writing novels, and I started with short story books. If you go to Google Play Store and Amazon, you will find my books there. Actually, those books, they are novels, novellas, and short stories. So I started with short stories, 2 short stories, the dreams that I would have, and I would just tell that story. This is the type of dream that I had, but I wouldn't say this is the type of dream I had. I would just tell a story according to how I remember the dream, and it would be so fascinating, and actually seeing my growth in terms of writing, creative writing, would be so fascinating. And because I wanted to grow even more, I studied also writing better English, and I studied it through another college, and I would study from home, and I would realize that writing is such a big thing. It's such a big thing. And what I would do is that I would study, then after that go back and try to write. And it was that time when I was writing my short stories, and I wrote 2 anthology of short stories, and it was exciting for me. And I started writing writing a novella called Daki Love. My short stories are Dreams Part 1 and Dreams Part 2. And I started writing after those two books. I started writing a novella called Daki Love. It was about, the place where I found myself, a young writer who's trying to be successful, I was trying to make money, and who's trying to make a difference. And we all know if you want to make money, writing is not it's not the way to go. You'd rather go get a job or sing a song or something, but writing will take a long time for you to actually make money. So now when I wrote my book, Daki Love, a novella, it spoke about where I was as a young person, where my mind was, and it was so fascinating being able to write that book, right from the depth of my heart, from my experience and from my passion. And I just got out of a relationship. And I met someone. We ended up being friends. I actually dedicated the book to her. We tried to get something to work out, but it didn't work. It didn't even pick up. But she inspired me to write that book, and it was so fascinating where I was in that time. So as time went on, in 2016, 2017, I wrote a novel, named The Chronicles of Kahim. The Chronicles of Kahim is so exciting, so thrilling, so much adventure. So it was a fantasy book. So I just want, I'm saying all these things, not that I'm advertising, but I'm encouraging you to tell your story. And as time went on, I started, venturing out to romance, to young adult books and so forth. And now I'm still writing, and I can't wait to publish the book that I'm writing now. And guys, I want to encourage you, do your best to read as authors, do your best to write, continue on writing, continue on doing your best to become better, so that you can be able to see your limits and how far you can go. And another thing that I'm worried about, and I spoke about this on my other interview when I was interviewing Mr. Manyaka, it's imperative for us to be able to prize our books in a way that people can be able to pick up our books and read them. So many people are not reading because books are expensive. People from the hood, people from the ghetto are not reading because the books are expensive, whether books in academia, books in novels, fiction, whatever type of book. Books in South Africa are expensive. If we could find a way to make books affordable, and be able to also award people that are being successful, that are trying their best and being able to reach out to people, and so that they can be able to, read their books and change the status quo about, South Africa, that people are not reading. That's why South Africa is where it is. So we want to be able to challenge people to be able to pick up a book, and we want to be able to challenge people to actually read a book. Today, I just wanted, yesterday on my other podcast, I spoke about conditioning your mind to being positive. It's imperative for us to be positive. As an author, it's imperative for us to work hard, to keep on dreaming, to keep on writing. Once we choose to be positive, once we understand our story, the tales that we want to tell, we'll begin to understand that there is a lot that we can write about. There is a lot that we can write about, and there's a huge difference that we can make. And I just want to encourage you with that before I get into this next book that I will be reviewing. Be positive, work hard, make sure that you are doing your best, and you are making a killer difference out there, and so many people are actually reading your book. So guys, I want to encourage you to read. As authors, I want to encourage you to read. I want to encourage you to tell your story. I want to encourage you to be personal, and I want to encourage you to condition your mind to being positive. And as readers, I want to encourage you to pick up a South African book and read the South African book. People that are self-published are suffocating out there, and so I want to encourage you to go on Google Play Store, go on Amazon, go on their website, search South African authors, and you will find them, and just pick up a book and read it, and just tell them that, hey, I enjoyed your book, and 1 2 3 4, or but 1 2 3 4. It's imperative for us to get your review, and it's imperative for us to be able to know what you are thinking.
This is South African Writers with your host, William.
Isn't it exciting when people get successful, when South African authors, when people just win awards and get to grow, compared to the music industry? It is so hard for a South African to actually win an award. I've never heard of a South African winning. Maybe I should do my research. Please don't blame me. But so far, I've never heard of a Nobel Prize winner, South African author. So it's exciting when South Africans get to actually grow and get to win awards, and they get when they get those awards, they don't just get them for them. They get them for people like you and I, people that work every day, that write every day, and that try so hard to get noticed. So many people that are crying and writing and weeping and writing, and as we continue to write, we get so discouraged because we are not getting noticed. Publishing agents are saying no. Publishing companies are saying no. You self-publish and it's hard for you to get your book in a store. It gets so overwhelming. You end up weeping and crying and writing and weeping and crying and writing. And for so many people out there who are South Africans, it's their job. That's what they do. That's what they are passionate about, and that's what they want to reach success in that space of or career of writing. And it gets so hard for one to be able to get to that point whereby they are able to get noticed, and they're able to make a difference in their writing. And so as I was just researching, because we haven't met, we haven't met for a long time. So on the 4th of November 2021, an article was released on RNZ, talking about people winning awards, South Africans winning awards. And I just want to read what Damon Galgut says after winning a Booker Prize. And it's so exciting. It was so thrilling. I know there are other people now that have won, this Booker Prize, and there's this Scottish writer, Douglas Stewart, who won it last year, and there is Margaret Atwood, who won it in 2019. There is Anna Burns, who won it in 2018, and she is Irish. And Margaret, I'm not sure where she comes from, but what I was thinking about is that it's so exciting that one of our own, for lack of a better word, a South African author was able to win it. So a South African author named Damon Galgut wins a Booker Prize. Please help me with the surname. I don't know how to pronounce the surname. So Damon won a Booker Prize this year, and I was so excited. I'm so I'm so excited for you, and I pray that you keep on winning more, and you keep on telling people our story. You keep on telling people our story, because the title of your book it was mind baffling for me. I just read it and I was like, wow, I have to get this book, and I found this information this morning, so I'm just going to read what he said. So the title of the article is South African author Damon Galgut wins a Booker Prize. This was published on the 4th of November 2021 at 10:47 a.m. So South African author and playwright Damon Galgut won the Booker Prize on Wednesday for his novel The Promise, about a white family's failed commitment to give their black maid her own home. The Promise, about a white family's failed commitment to give their black maid her own home. This is how it starts, and I'm just going to read what he said, and it was exciting that he said that. It was Galgut's third nomination for the £50,000 English Language Literary Award. It's taken a long while to get here, and now that I have, I kind of feel that I shouldn't be here, he said in his acceptance speech. This has been a great year for South African writing, and I would like to accept this on behalf of all the stories told and untold, the writers heard and unheard from the remarkable continent I am part of. Please keep listening to us. There is a lot more to come. Starting in the mid-1980s, and set outside of Pretoria, The Promise transitions through several decades and South African presidents. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Damon, winning this award. That is a great achievement, and we salute you, and we are, excited for you, and we are happy for you, and we want to be able to see you grow, and we want to be able to see you win more awards, and most of all, we want to see you able to tell people our story. South Africa has a story to tell. South Africa has a story to tell. It's, when we look at Americans, they tell their stories. They're telling their stories on movies, on their books. They tell their stories. And I think it's about time that we tell our story, whether using novels or using nonfiction genres, but we need to be able to tell people our story so that people can know that, hey, we have went through a great deal, and we are thriving, and we are becoming, and we are growing, and actually looking at where we are politically, transitioning from having this big party having to rule over South Africa for a long time, and now we are moving and growing as a country, looking into a new party, hoping that there will be a new party that takes over nationally. And as we see that there is a party that has taken over like Gauteng, it's exciting, and we are excited about seeing the growth. So looking at our writers, we want to celebrate you, Damon. We want to celebrate you. We want to celebrate all the writers that are coming after you. We want to be able to see us winning Nobel Prize. We want to see us Nobel Prize. We want to see us growing and becoming better as writers, as South African writers. So let's support him. Let's buy his book. Let's read his book, and let's share and review his book. So I'm so excited. I was so excited to have to read that story, and I want to be able to just check out more stories and be able to tell people about our writers and our authors, that hey, we exist and we are doing more writing, and we are doing more when it comes to telling our stories, and that is great. That is so exciting, Damon, and I'm so excited for you, and I'm so thrilled for you. I can't wait to read your book. The topic sounds exciting. The topic sounds thrilling, so I can't wait to be able to read your book. You guys are still with William Seitshiro, that's Seitshiro, and I still encourage you to go and read my books as well. I want to be able to win that award as well, and be able to tell people that, hey, we exist, and we are writing, and we are working so hard so that the world can be able to know that we are existing.
It's time to build your brand as an author. Now take your sit and learn how to do so with William and other authors.
So as we close today, I just want us to go through Daily Maverick digital newspaper. I just want us to go through it for our Daily Maverick bestseller for November, December 2021. The books to check out when you go to the store to just read something. So you can start with our number one bestseller, which is Rise by Siya Kolisi. And you can go, I'm so excited for this guy because he took his story and he was able to tell the world about his story, where he comes from, and how he got successful and how he keeps on just growing and becoming better. So I just want to encourage you to pick up that number one bestseller for November, December 2021 Daily Maverick bestseller. Number two is I didn't know Johnny Clegg. We should go back to reading. I haven't been reading for quite some time. Scattling of Africa by Johnny Clegg. Number three is The Everyday Hero Manifesto by Robin Sharma. It sounds interesting. I'd love to pick it up. Another one by Wilbur Smith. Which is number 4. It is The New Kingdom. He always gets bestseller. Bestseller. Charlie McKessie. Help me with the surname. Sally McKessie. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Number 6. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Number 7 is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Doot. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Doot by Mark Manson. Number 8 is Apples Never Fall by Leanne. And number 9, Atomic Habits by James. Number 10, Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. So make sure that you check the books out, and so that you can be able to support South Africa and be able to grow in reading books and gaining more knowledge and knowing what to talk about. One of the reasons why I love books is that they help us in being able to talk, being able to engage in conversations. You cannot come to me and just tell me what you think. You just have to give me another person's opinion and tell me what you think, and I will hold you in high esteem because of that. So just want to encourage you to check out those books so that you can be able to have something to talk about, have something to engage with. So guys, thank you so much for joining me and just honoring me today and just sitting with me and just checking out our South African authors and just checking out the bestsellers according to Daily Maverick, November and December 2021. I'm excited to see December and January, the bestsellers for December and January. So just want to encourage you to just go out there, buy books, go online, buy books, and just read something new. As for me, guys, may you be blessed and enjoy your festive season. seasons. Enjoy your festive seasons. I hope to see you soon. I hope that we'll be talking about more books soon. And so, guys, be blessed and enjoy the week.
Thanks for joining us today. Remember to connect with us by clicking on Send Message, or send a voice note on WhatsApp to 074-277-8857. If you are an author and want to be interviewed or have your book reviewed, please make sure you send an email to essawriters@outlook.com. Again, essawriters@outlook.com. See you next Tuesday 9 a.m.